Speaking of dropping it like it's hot, we got to talk. This is real versus petty. So the real issue is we got something local, Jay. We just came up. Thank you, Human T Rex, for keeping us informed about
I knew about
Mayor Frank Jackson's grandson, again. About he just left. I guess he was incarcerated because of domestic.
He just made bail.
He just made
case.
Yes, and
He was in Parma late at night, and he gets stopped by the police for tenant.
At midnight. It's midnight, and the Parma police. It's a curfew. Nobody's on the road, and they out here pulling people out here for tent.
This and the thing about it is, you know who was being petty here was the Parma police. Parma police has always been petty. We've always had a racial issue with Parma, and they've always been petty. So were they petty, or they were just not being petty in situation? Or they just being what they were, racist?
They are who we thought they were.
Okay.
But here's the thing, and of course because of his name, and because of who he's affiliated with, who his grandfather is, the media has taken it and ran with it. I will say this: we got to stop holding Mayor Jackson feet to the fire for what his adult grandson did. That was his decision. We can't tie that to Mayor Jackson.
Right.
But what we need to tie to Mayor Jackson is the destitute of this city.
Right.
That's what we need to hold Mayor Frank Jackson accountable for.
Right.
I don't care about what his children's, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandpappy's grandchildren. I don't care nothing about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're watching the YouTube.
And I got to give Jay props because she the only person who been saying this, and I've been watching old Martin Luther King stuff, and he said the local politicians are nothing if they can't get federal dollars allocated to their city.
That's
right, exactly.
Martin Luther King said this back in the 60s. And Jay been preaching this the last year. So I'm totally with you, Queen, on this. That's all that matters.
Right.
I mean, if you're a black politician in the city, you're a waste. If you're not getting federal dollars to your city for the black people.
That's right.
Right.
Sit your punk ass down and figure out what you need to do.
That's right.
And then,
I didn't know what Jay meant by that till this weekend. I was doing some reading, and it makes a lot of sense.
It makes perfect sense because you have to contact, like I said, and somebody else said this. Well, the state, city, and federal don't tie in together. They're like a skull and listen, and this is from I'm gonna say this. This is from one of these conspiracy theorists, these state woke folks that be on my fucking page. No, they do tie in together, you idiots. Stop thinking that you know every that damn thing, and your freaking posts are confused as hell. You don't even put a comma or a or whatever, and you expel all that. And they don't even know how to spell. They don't even know how to fucking spell.
Cities get money. It's federal allocations. That's federal allocations. And the mayors and your council people, they have to go and advocate for the city to get federal dollars. I've only known one politician, or maybe two, maybe three, that I know for sure that have sat in state seats and local seats that have brought funding from the federal level to the city of Cleveland. John Barnes being one of them. He was the master of bringing federal dollars to the city.
It's like public records.
It's a public record.
So the thing about it is like you have to bring. How do you think the businesses come in here? You have to. How do you think the streets and stuff? How do you think the police are getting paid for? How do you think things work? Because money comes into the city via federal dollars. Why do you think that Biden signed an executive order for those 10 million illegal immigrants to be counted for the U.S. Census?
Because
it wasn't
dollars in. Well, that brings dollars, but then those people, once they get, those people, that splits the vote too. So don't get it twisted that he made
well,
ain't none of them black.
Right, but here's the thing that's part. But there's always some petty stuff in bills. But the thing about it is like you have to count them in to bring more dollars into your neighborhood. That's why the census. Community dollars.
I'm saying neighborhoods. Neighborhoods is an empty kind of thing.
Right, the community. That's what I meant. Community. Community dollars into your neighborhood. Otherwise,
neighborhood again.
I mean, community.
You need dollars.
The dollars
filtering through
your
to your
community. That's
yes.
what I'm sorry. You need. How do you think your EBT cards get increased?
Federal, USDA.
How do you think?
That's USDA.
How do you think them highways get built? Say it again.
That's Treasury, the Department of Transportation, federal level.
Thank you. So you have.
How do you think you get money for HUD, CMHA?
Federal dollars. Let's repeat it again. How do you think you get some shit done in the cities, in the states, in the counties? Federal dollars.
And what happens is when your city starts to shrink, your federal funding shrinks.
So if you're worried, while you're worried about the gas prices going up, what about your federal? You don't want your federal dollars to go down. Period. Oh, by the way, the stimulus checks might be coming soon. but
people need to stop tying Frank Q. Jackson into
Mayor Frank Jackson.
And
I'm seeing we saw the little YouTube of Frank Q getting pulled over about it. And the thing about it is, despite Frank Q's indiscretions with the law,
it ain't his grandfather's fault.
And the lawyer said, he's like, y'all searching him for tinted windows?
I didn't know they still.
I don't know they still do that. I thought I'm like, really?
But it was 12.
It was midnight. Everything's dark.
It's midnight and it's curfew.
Right. Leave the man alone.
Ain't nobody on the street.
Leave him alone. Listen.
He had nothing to do.
Petty ass Palmer police. I'm gonna say that.
Said it. You pulling somebody out of the car for a tinted window?
Listen, like I said, like some of these police.
And they had to have known who he was.
Yeah, of course they knew.
And they hit the jackpot. It was like, whoop, ding ding, jackpot.
Yeah, we got him now. I'm gonna be petty right now. I'm gonna be petty. As far as sports.
What's that?
Chad Wheeler, former Seattle Seahawks player, was accused of domestic violence against his girlfriend.
What?
Offensive lineman Chad Wheeler was dropped from the team today, from the Seattle Seahawks, for domestic violence against his girlfriend. Pretty much the man is 6'7", 310 pounds.
Knocking her around?
Yeah, he beat her to the point of she was lying lifeless while he was eating dinner.
She was unconscious?
Yes. Here's the thing. I don't know why it just got reported, and it wasn't reported by the news outlets, because the girl is African American and Wheeler is Caucasian. Now, they just released it. So they just released him today after they found out that he beat her on Friday. I think Friday or Saturday.
I got to see a picture of him because I don't know who he is.
Chad Wheeler, yeah. So he's a long-haired, whatever. But I'm gonna be a little bit petty, and it's gonna come with a you already know. Mm-hmm. If he was white, if Wheeler was black, and she was white, you already know he would have been blasted this morning all the way up until now. He would have been a household name for domestic violence. He would have been arrested. He would have been kicked. He just got kicked off the team. They would have strung that nigga up by his toes.
I didn't know about it. Okay.
Yeah, like here's the thing.
What's his name?
Chad Wheeler.
I'm gonna have to look him up.
You already know.
I'm gonna have to look him up.
They just released him, but he would have been released.
What team?
Seattle Seahawks, offensive lineman. He's an offensive lineman. So he's blocking for a black quarterback in Russell Wilson.
Oh.
I got a question for y'all.
What?
Is biracial black?
Yeah.
You know the one.
1% black is black. And please stop saying that Kamala Harris is not black.
She black, baby.
The thing about it is, if y'all said it like I heard that, like I'm gonna be petty.
She black.
I'm gonna be black. You can't be black if you lock up the most niggas in history.
Hold on. Whoa. Let.
It has no black kids.
All right, hold on for just a second.
Y'all got shit fucked up out here.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
So here's what I will say to that.
All right, thank you, because you go ahead.
Let me hear from the queen.
She didn't do what she did do what you're saying, but you have to understand she was at a time to where there was a war on drugs,
Right?
And drugs was ravaging her communities.
Right.
She had to do something, but you got to remember the CBC was behind her. The Congressional Black Caucus was behind her all the way to implement that law and put it in place. So she wasn't the only one. She's taking the hit because she was the AG at that time. But the CBC and all of these other African American Congress people, they were
right behind her
They
ass.
had to do something to get
You can't blame her.
Drugs.
You can't. And where did the drugs come from? The Reagan administration.
Okay,
so the thing about it is, you can't blame her. You can't blame her because she was just doing her damn job. You can blame the Reagan administration for bringing that shit in here to our communities to try to destroy us.
Right. Okay, that's part of the system that ain't been changed.
And the system is not going to change, but the system is set up that way. So they get a black woman in that position, and now we're saying she incarcerated the majority of the black men in California. That's the narrative.
That's a fact.
That's the narrative.
That's the narrative.
But they won't tell you why she had to do it.
Because they was out here robbing, killing, and stealing it, and doing all kinds of crazy shit because they was on that damn narcotic. That's what happened.
They were destroying the black community. We were destroying our own community. She had no other choice. Do I think that things could have been done differently?
Yes.
Probably. But it had to be a quick fix to get it under control. And this is what they did. They passed legislation to get them to incarcerate these people. And it was kind of like sending a message that we're not playing. It was unfortunate that it involved us, but we, black people, black men, were the ones out here on the streets killing our own black people.
I mean,
you got people.
It was too, but it was like people up for weed.
Yeah, she did, because weed was not at the point where it is now. So you got to look at the time versus
it was the 80s.
Now it was the 80s and the 90s where weed was considered a hard narcotic.
It wasn't considered soft like it was now.
But the funny thing, the government knows that it's not a hard narcotic. It's just that we the ones.
It is our skin color,
and that's why.
Yeah, it's our skin color. But we cannot lay that at BP Harris's feet. We cannot do that because she was not the only one that signed on to the law.
Black Caucus, things of that nature.
Everybody of color said we support it. We've got to get everything under control. And black men, instead of us coming together, our black men saying, you know what? We don't want to go down like this. We're going to do what's right. But instead, they tested the system when they knew the system was coming for them. We didn't try to deflect or do anything different. So I can't lay it at her feet totally. But I can lay it at everybody. I can lay it spread it amongst all of them.
It spread along.
It's a domino effect.
Yeah, it was. The thing about it is she was the last person. She was the frontline person to get hit for that because all the white supremacists, all these white supremacists who supported the war on drugs had to have a fall guy or a fall girl, and unfortunately, she was the fall girl. She was the fall girl for the bullshit that they was trying to put into the system, and African American men who sold or used. African American women who sold or used were the first ones locked up because the white police officers, like the racist police in Parma, were looking for African American people instead of looking for the real drug dealer, which was the United States government during the Iran-Contra affair. Remember when Rick Ross came in here and told them about Reagan? Yeah.
But that's why I be mad at y'all when y'all be so mad about Trump, because Trump is Mickey Mouse compared to Nixon and Reagan.
Oh yeah, he is. He's just an idiot.
He's an idiot.
He was a fool.
Mickey Mouse.
But Larry, I want to go back to you. She was not the fall girl.
Who was?
She was doing her job.
Yeah, she was doing her job.
She was paid.
But they're
to do her job.
But they're blaming her. But here's the narrative about the white supremacists, Jay. They're using the state woke people to blame, but was blaming Kamala not to vote for Biden because of her, because of the simple fact of the matter is that they knew who the real people were doing it behind. They knew that the Reagan administration and Nixon and everybody was putting these drugs in our community. But the thing about it is that they like this. Remember now, if you listen to some of the state woke folks, they repeat the exact same things that the white supremacists repeat as far as Kamala Harris, because they wanted to be on the same page, because they still wanted to keep Trump in power. But unfortunately, this is just my opinion. Unfortunately, this is petty. Unfortunately, is that some of us didn't fall for, like you say, the banana in the tailpipe.
Smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
But here's the thing: anything to keep the black people divided.
Right.
Because a house that's divided will not stand.
Right.
And that's what they are good at doing, and keeping us divided. Because we got some Negroes over here that's so woke until they still yet sleep, but don't realize that they sleep.
Right.
Then you got other ones, you got other Negroes that say, okay, you know what? I can see both sides of the fence. I can understand why they did what they did. Okay, so how do we change the narrative? We change the narrative by introducing laws. We change the narrative by voting in people that have their own people's best interests at heart. And we vote them in based upon their platform and how they're going to rewrite legislation to get the things that we need in our community. Mm-hmm. That's what some of us are doing. And then you got some Negroes that just still sleeping. They ain't never going to wake up.
Right. That's the problem.
They're not going to wake up.
Right, and the thing about it, thanks for the laugh track, and thanks for the laugh, and the thing about it is that these are the people that say the inauguration was fake. They don't like the executive orders that Biden is signing. As far as right, and the thing about it is they want Biden to turn water into wine in 7 damn days. He ain't nobody Jesus.
Him because he said if y'all vote whoop-de-woo in Georgia, them $2,000 checks come.
But it takes time. And if you understand politics,
I don't think you should have never said that though.
But they're coming.
They're coming.
But he's only been in office 7 days today.
7 days, like a week.
7 days today.
You got a whole. Like the thing about it is,
Rome wasn't built in a day.
You got a whole line of. You got a whole line of shit to clean up. And when you file shit on top of shit on top of shit, and you the cleanup man. Biden is pretty much the cleanup man after 4 years of shit from the other fucking person.
He cleaned up more than Obama did with Bush.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, the Bush thing was unemployment, like getting people jobs. That was the most thing. But this is more of, not only that, we still got a whole ass impeachment trial on February 8th. And Biden, here's the thing. The reason why Biden is cleaning up more is because he had less time to clean. When Bush lost to, when Obama took over, Bush never lost to Obama. Bush's term was up. His 8 years was up. Bush turned over everything to Obama. It was a peaceful transition of power. That means that Obama could get his cabinet in there. That means he can get all the stuff that he can work in there, take all the buttons he needed to take out of the Oval Office, clean that up, decorate it to where he wanted to do. Trump fought the election. Trump, along with Giuliani, and I'm going to get to his punk ass in a minute. Trump fought the election. He had people fight the election. He had people try to kill you on Capitol, kill all of the representatives on Capitol Hill because he lost the election. Domestic terrorism. Biden only put in part of his cabinet was confirmed by the Congress and the Senate. This should have been, by the time inauguration day comes around, tradition is that all your cabinet members have been, or either 95% of your cabinet has been sworn in. He only had 25% when Biden got sworn in. They still had to confirm. Oh, by the way, Dominion voting, speaking of Giuliani's bitch ass, and I'm going to be real petty about this. Giuliani is being sued by Dominion, the voting company, for $1.3 million.
Well, he was charging Trump $24,000 or $25,000 a day.
Who?
Giuliani for representing all the in those court places for voter fraud, which they lost every one of them.
Trump was paying him.
that's not.
The American public was probably paying him too, because he was the president of the United States.
That's another thing. We out here listening to what a trust fund baby telling us what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We live in a crazy. That should be in the Constitution. No trust fund baby should be president.
Dude, that works for
the
elitists. But here's the thing. Trump said not to pay Giuliani, so I don't know if he got his check yet. But is that petty to sue Giuliani for $1.3 billion for slander? Because most of the Dominion people who work for who did the voter thing,
they would.
Those employees were being they had death threats on the employees by these insurrectionists, these domestic terrorists.
I mean, they did sue. So yeah, he's getting what he was doing. The tables have turned now. The tables have turned. So you were suing on behalf of Trump and all his, tomfoolery. So now the tables are turned. Is he gonna help you? And then the other thing about Trump that, he just left Mike Pence out there all by himself.
He tried to kill Mike Pence.
He just I have a newfound respect for Mike Pence. He left Mike Pence out there by himself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he did, but then Mike Pence like, damn, I ain't got money like Trump, so I gotta be a pilot. I still gotta be in this for the long run.
I think his political career is over.
He don't own no property. He's still in this. He need his political career.
I think it's over.
It's over, man. He did like Trump, like the thing.
He's gonna need to sit down somewhere for about maybe 4 to 8 years before he can get back in the game again.
I think the problem with him, I think that Mike Pence is psychologically damaged.
He was collateral damage for him.
Right. The thing about it is that Trump never wanted him in the first place. First of all, the Republicans wanted Trump to pick Pence as VP because that would stabilize the craziness of Donald.
But he didn't want Pence in the beginning.
No, like I said, he didn't want Pence in the beginning. But
I don't know who he wanted.
I don't know. But I think he wanted one of his children. I think he wanted Donald Jr.
If there was the one thing that Donald Trump can say, when they go back and look at history, they can say that he destroyed a whole party by himself.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
Fuck that party.
Single-handedly.
Fuck that party.
Well,
that's how he feels.
Well, that's the petty side of
Black Party.
Well, that's the petty side of Trump. We'll be back. This is Nas, 27 Summers. We'll be right back with the Headline Eye.